Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I am not exactly prepared because haven't done this in a while, but I wanted to get back into it, so here we are. Uh, I'm just gonna talk about all the crazy, weird shit going on in the world, and I'm gonna give my views and my opinions. You can take it or leave it. You can hate it. You can talk to me all about it in the comments. I will answer. I will talk to you all night long because I want someone to explain to me how in the world we live in people are still mad about this abortion crap. Like, I understand there is certain degrees, certain not degrees, but certain, I guess you could say, situations to where somebody would feel that need to get rid of it, that life that they're bearing inside of them. I don't quite understand it because being a father, I no matter what the situation, I would want to give the life that I helped create the chance to evolve into something like, no matter the health defects or no matter what it was, I would want the chance to try. And so I don't quite understand it, but what I'm saying is I could understand why somebody would think that that is the best solution or the only way. I mean, you have your cases of rape and incest. I get that. I get that. But on the same point, if you're raped, is it really the kid's fault? Like, I'm the only person who is at fault is the rapist. I mean, I would. That's how I see it, and I don't see how ending the child's life really constitutes. I mean, I understand you're going to have some mental anguish, but at the same point, you're going to have that anyway. I mean, you were something was taken from you. You were violated, and that's something that no amount of it didn't happen and trying to push it out is ever going to do. You're always going to bear that burden, that hurt. I mean, it, and if you don't think you could look at the kid every day, then there's adoption. Like, there's a lot of families out there that would love a child, and I don't know. I'm a bit touchy when it comes to the abortion thing because my mother was a young mother. She gave birth to me at an extremely young age, and I'm just glad she didn't fall in with that crowd because then I wouldn't be here. So, and that means my daughter wouldn't be here, and I just don't think that is this. I just don't think it's the solution that you think it is because most people I know that have had an abortion regretted it afterwards, or they fell into some sort of deep depression, and they might not realize that it's connected, but I'm thinking it might be because everyone I know that has ever got one has had this depression afterwards. And the only reason it's so heavy on my mind is like I see depression running rampant in this world, and I I just it boggles my mind, and it also confuses me because the abortion law that's in Texas that got instituted that everyone's throwing a fit about, you still have 6 weeks to figure it out. And if you, I mean, and everybody's argument is, well, sometimes they don't know till they're 8 weeks along or blah, 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 blah. Well, if you are having sex, like if you're just, then you should probably take measures to keep up with that. I mean, if you're going to do the deed, be responsible. I mean, and plus you have all these contraceptives, you have birth control, you have Plan B, you have condoms, you have anal. I mean, you don't want to get pregnant, then I'm just throwing it out there. But a lot of people that are getting abortions aren't the people with these, you know, strange fringe, you know, like it's not because of the health issues, and it's not because of, you know, incest or rape. Hell, half the people that are getting these days are just women that refuse to take responsibility for the fact that they got knocked up. Sounds harsh, but I mean, if there's no physicality issues, like some yes, some like I said, some situations I understand, like when the mother's health is in question, or, you know, I mean, sometimes the baby is deformed. I understand a lot of these, but most of them these days are not the case. It's just a bunch of people out hookering it up. Like, men are just as bad. I mean, is women, I mean, women and men are just as bad as each other when it comes to this. So I'm not sitting here just dogging on women being hooked or being, you know, promiscuous. I'm not, because I mean, but if you're gonna do it, be responsible. Keep a thing of pregnancy tests in your freaking, you know, medicine cabinet. Take one every week or two. I mean, if you're gonna be promiscuous, be prepared for the consequences, and take responsibility for it. I mean, there's so many different ways you can find out if you are pregnant. I mean, that's, but I mean, the way I'm seeing this all play out, I don't think any of it has anything to do with the law itself. It seems like people are just looking for a reason to bitch. And I know that sounds pretty harsh too, but I mean, think about it. Before the abortion thing, everybody was crying about the gun laws. Well, you know what? There's already people ever since, we're in like day 5 of open carry, honestly, and there's already people saving people because they were allowed to have their guns on them. I mean, it's already a thing. Like, the crime rate whenever it comes to open carry states has always been lower, and you have people like Obama and these governors talking about how, oh, they're buying the guns in Republican states and carrying them to Democratic states. No, they're not. No, they're not. No. That is not the case, because criminals, no matter what, will find a way to get a hold of a gun. It doesn't matter if it's in their state, in their town, in their, you know, they will find it in their community. They will get a hold of a gun, and they will do evil people things. Like, just because a person is evil, don't think because they can't get a hold of a gun, they're not going to do the crime. I mean, they'll get a hold of a knife. They'll get a hold of a beer bottle. I mean, okay, case in point, a drunk driver. Do you blame the car? No, you blame the drunk driver. If someone stabs somebody, do you blame the knife? No, you blame the person for stabbing them. So why is it you want to attack the tool whenever it comes to guns? It makes no sense. Don't blame the gun, blame the evil bastard wielding it. Because tools are tools. Guns can be used to save or hurt. So can a knife. So can a screwdriver. That's, I mean, shit. I know somebody that can kill somebody with a pencil. And no, that's not a John Wick reference or a Joker reference. But Joker really didn't use a gun in that movie, and he was probably the scariest, you know, psychopath on TV. I mean, I just don't understand, like, how you can hold such strong values against something that is ridiculous. I mean, my dad's owned guns all of his life. Guess what? Never shot anybody. And I own several guns. My gun has never just set up and looked at me and said, let's go kill somebody today. Nope, not once. So, there's that. And, I mean, all the other crap going on in the world. I mean, America is now, like, the biggest contributor to the Taliban. Like, we've left, I mean, our president's left them a whole air base. Oh, they made it to where 3 of the 19 Black Hawks are not usable. Oh, I mean, they left them guns, uniforms, outfits. I mean, all kinds of crap. And everybody's, I mean, you still have Alyssa Milano like, oh, I'm so proud of our president and his handling of the. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. Like, you don't know anything. You don't know shit about dick. Like, sorry for the language. My bad. Oh, I'm just adamantly pissed off. Adamantly. So, and then on top of all of it, with the disaster that is the Afghanistan retreat, our deserter in chief is now stopping people trying to go over there on their own dime to get these people, to get these left Americans and our allies. You have people that were helping our government that are Afghan citizens that you promised you would take care of. And what have we done? We've abandoned them? Like, does that, how does that look to the rest of our allies? Like, us as a country, we're being laughed at because of the incompetence of Sleepy Joe and the fact that he can't get anything right. I mean, he, in 6 months, has done what it took the worst president 4 years to do. Like, I mean, good for you, Joe. You set a record as being the shittiest president we've ever seen. Good for you. And Kamala Harris, she's supposed to be taking care of things at the border. She's never been to the border. I mean, shit. What is going on? Like, I really want to know. Enlighten me. How any of this is good for our country. Like, yeah, and everybody that I talk, like all of my actual friends, because apparently I'm the most political one because not a lot of them get into any of this. But I've also come to the realization, this is the things I think about. I think about making our world a better place because I have children. I have a daughter, and I have a baby brother that I am taking care of. I want the world to be good for them. And so far, all we've got is idiot socialists and people. Like, okay, for instance, I was on TikTok the other day, and I pointed out the hypocrisy of basically you have these capitalists like Jeff Bezos and others that are pretty much left-leaning globalist types. I mean, you try to point that out, and it's like they're like, no, they're the two of the biggest capitalists known to man. Blah, blah. That doesn't change their views. I'm having to watch my mouth here because just because someone owns a business and they are a capitalist at this moment does not mean that their views and their the way they look at the world can't be capitalist. I mean, can't be socialist. Because, like, okay, AOC and Bernie Sanders are politicians in America, the land of the free, but they're pushing for socialism, and they don't make any qualms about it. And guess who follows them? The two I was talking about. And these little idiots in TikTok think they were being smart and think they were tearing me down, like, oh, you're just using buzzwords and blah blah blah. And this one dude honestly said, I'm a capitalist because, not a capitalist, I'm a socialist because I don't see any way out of poverty. I'm sorry, if you're dealing with generational, like, poverty, I'm sorry. But this day and age and this economy that we had, especially for the last 4 years, especially, what as good as the economy was, if you don't have a job, you can go work at McDonald's making $12 an hour. If you get on at Walmart, your starting pay has been going up for years. Because when I was working at Walmart in Seagoville, it's a town relatively close to me, but it's close to the big cities. I worked there for like 4 or 5 years, and every year my pay was going up, not because I got a raise, but because they were changing their starting wage. They were bumping it up every year. I started off making $7. And by the time, like right now, the starting pay at Walmart is $15. If you can't go flip burgers for $12 or stock shelves for $15 and get out of your poverty, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. You don't know what you're doing. Because I'm going back to Walmart, hopefully soon, and like I said, their starting pay is 15. I'm going to be working overnights. And just overnights, your starting pay is $16.50. If you can't make $16.50 and you can't somehow get out of your poverty, that's your own fault. That is your own fault. Because I could take care of my daughter and my brother and save money on $15 an hour. If I was overnights making $16.50, oh, you're right, I could do all of those things, and I'm going to. So, and I've been pretty impoverished most of my life. Like, I've lived on both sides of the spectrum, because when I was younger, my dad busted his ass, and he was working 2 jobs, and we still fought for what we had. My dad is a very good man, and taught me a lot of great morals whenever it comes to work. My grandfather, too. They busted their ass every day. They got a decent work ethic in me and sent me on my way into the world. Well, guess what? Now I'm pretty grand. Like, before I moved back home for a series of misfortunate events that I'm not going to talk about online because I don't see as how that's the place or time. Well, anyway, but I moved back home, and I lost that job. But before I moved back home, and I was making $12, $13 an hour, and I was buying a 5-bedroom house. I had my own vehicle. Wait, did I? No, I didn't have a car at the time, but I was buying a house, paying the bills. I had a roommate, but that's not. I had a roommate because I wanted one. Like, I've had a couple of roommates, but it was mainly because I just didn't want to fucking live alone. Like, I just didn't want to. Like, I could have. Like, I had an apartment. It was all bills paid, $700 a month, and my best friend moved in with me. Yeah, it was great because I could have done it by myself, but I mean, that was back when I was making 7 something an hour. I could have pulled it off, but I would have had, like, literally not that much money, like, afterwards, like, and I would have been fine with it because I don't eat that much. But it's not the point. The point is yes, my best friend moved in with me, so I was able to save some. Now, I could have easily pulled that off and saved by myself. I would have probably still had my roommate living with me because he's my best friend. But this video, like I said, is just my own opinion and views right now because I don't have a whole show planned out or anything like that. So I'm just here going to record some videos and see how it goes. But that is my stance. I mean, with the way the world is right now, if you're still stuck in generational poverty, then it's your own fault. I mean, I've seen people move to a completely different state, away from their friends and family, so they have no support structure. And guess what? They worked their way up and made something of themselves. Like, I see it every day. Every day. Or they move to a new state because, I don't know, a relationship, and that relationship doesn't work out, and they keep their job, and guess what? They build themselves up. If you are stuck in generational poverty, it's your own fault. If the cost of living where you're at is ridiculously high, then move. It doesn't matter if it's your home or if you can't afford to live there, you can't afford to live there. Go make a new home. People do it every day. I mean, you got all these companies moving to Texas because they can't afford the cost of anything in places like California or what's that other shithole? Portland, yeah, and uh, the one to where they took it over, Antifa got the guns, and that's funny. A leftist organization carrying guns that they diametrically oppose. That's some funny shit. Seattle, yeah, Washington, another piss poor, piss smelling, drug infested hellhole that people are moving out of in droves. I mean, California, I mean, New York looks like a ghost town because of dumb COVID restrictions, and like this whole country is going to shit because everybody's too scared of a scamdemic, and everybody's having to pay these ridiculous taxes, and no one's working anymore because Joe Biden's giving them $1,000 to sit on their ass. So that's cool. I mean, oh. And speaking of the creeper in chief, I mean, his aggressive efforts to destroy our energy independence, such as recommitting to the Paris Climate Accords that restrict Americans but give countries like China a pass to just do whatever the hell they want. We were at record lows in 2018 and 19 with emissions, and but don't worry, Joe is fucking everything up. He's making sure that pollution and all the shit that y'all want to cry about and say, "Oh, the climate." Well, don't worry. With Joe, he's making it worse again. I mean, like I said, 2018 and 19 emissions were at an all-time low, so you can't blame it on COVID because that shit didn't really get bad till 2020. I mean, like I said, the Paris Climate Accords gives China a cringy pass to do whatever the hell they want, and killing the Keystone Pipeline, that was like 30,000 jobs, if not more, and it was probably one of the best the best ways to deliver the shit, because now the oil and stuff is still coming in, but now it's through trucks and delivery systems of that nature that could wreck and get oil everywhere. The Keystone Pipeline was 30,000 jobs. It was energy independence. It was all of these things that all of you crybabies will talk shit about. And it's ridiculous. And he still kisses the ass of people like China, who withheld information about COVID-19 until it was ridiculously out of date. And his refusal to accept the fact that he sucks at his job is mind-bogglingly scary. He wants to sit and blame everything on Trump, but he did everything he could to reverse everything Trump put into play. And just with a swipe of a pen, executive orders, all of the things that we're looking up in this country started to go back down to the shit. And this world is just keeping me cringy and on my toes. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, and you have him, like, I'm jumping topics back and forth, and I'm sorry, but it's just all a big mess. Whenever I actually do a show, I'm going to single out some of these topics and do a show on them and get more of the facts, because I have them all. Like I said, I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't cut to anything. The only thing I might be able to do is upload it and throw an intro on it if I can get my damn laptop to work. It's just been a bad couple of weeks, guys. I mean, but I'm getting everything back together, and I'm going to get back to doing what I love, and that's talking to y'all and bringing y'all the news and information that I like to find. I mean, I like looking this stuff up, but like I said, I haven't talked about it in so long. It's all just been stewing up here. I mean, the whole Joe Biden thing has just been a wreck since he started, and I mean, the man can't keep his son off a crack pipe and underage women, so what makes you think he can run a country? I mean, how many debacles has this moron got into with crack cocaine and now underage girls. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, and all he does is call his failures a success, and then, like I said, try to blame Donald Trump. I just don't know anymore, man. Like, but I don't know. I'm thinking about ending this video. I mean, I'm at 25 minutes. I mean, one more thing. Jen Psaki. Yeah, the stupid bitch on the podium talking. Uh, she sat there and tried to say that Americans aren't stranded in Afghanistan. Bitch, do you know what the word stranded means? If I call somebody and I got a flat tire, and I'm like, hey yo, I'm stranded on the side of the road. Can you come get me? Or hey yo, I'm stranded in Albuquerque. I need someone to come get me. I don't have the money for a hotel room, or whatever. Or I'm in a hotel room but I'm stranded. Can you figure out a way to get me home? Like, that is stranded. If I call you and say, hey, I'm in Afghanistan and there's these crazy guys out here